So, PayPal just launched a feature that allows people to buy and sell and hold Bitcoin. Okay, because remember I was talking about this, right? Remember like 4 months ago, I made a video saying that I got Bitcoin, right? I got like I had I've been taking out of it, which is dumb. You're not supposed to do that, but that's just how life goes sometimes. But you're not supposed to do that if you're gonna invest into something. You don't touch it, right? But I had $4,000 in Bitcoin. I'm down to like 3,000, but it went up so many times, and I pulled out profit from it. Like I've made like $2,000 or $3,000, but I should have just reinvested it. That's what you're supposed to do, compound interest, right? But anyways, PayPal just announced on their website that they launched a feature to allow people to buy and sell and hold Bitcoin. That's like the biggest, one of the biggest things that's ever happened with Bitcoin, because that just makes it permanent. Like, people have not wanted to accept it. They don't understand that Bitcoin is about decentralization. It's decentralized, so an entity like a government can't manipulate it. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be ways they're gonna be forced to have to make ways how they can regulate and tax it, and that's obviously been processed, or else PayPal wouldn't even consider that. But there's a lot of big people, even Warren Buffett, that was against Bitcoin. That just, like, there's big corporations dumping, like, I don't know, 400, $500 million into Bitcoin recently. You can look it up. Um, so remember the first time Bitcoin exploded, a lot of people gained wealth from that, right? And they only spent a couple $100. You know what I mean? Bought like a whole bunch of Bitcoins. You know what I mean? It just reached in Canadian $17,000 in Canadian for one Bitcoin right now. So either way, people just don't get it. Like, they think that the Bitcoin is the government's little sneaky trick to, like, work us into the the what people would call the mark of the beast and all this stuff. No, they do not control it. They can't do nothing to it, and they can't shut it down, because you'd have to shut the entire internet down in order to shut Bitcoin down, to stop it. And if the people choose a, it's a stored value. If they choose this to be a currency, and it just naturally develops its value through the people, it just happens like that. You know what I mean? Like, people, just decided that gold was a currency. We live in a digital era, you know what I mean, where you can't carry around $3 million worth of gold in your backpack. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you gonna buy and move around and travel? So that's why they did, paper money, but it's not backed by anything. Paper money. I'm not gonna get into that either. You have to do all that research if you don't believe what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But I find it interesting because the whole idea of freedom in not being enslaved to the dollar, and obviously the dollar's collapsing, and there's inflation, and they're buying, or sorry, they're printing it like crazy. They already know that the dollar's going to collapse. You know what I mean? The system itself, the governmental system, they already know what they're doing. They're literally just trying to please everybody by giving them money, so that way when the dollar collapses and the whole world goes to shit, that we don't blame them. Oh, we helped you, we gave you CERB money. Motherfucker, this is your fault in the first place why the dollar's collapsing. So you break us off a little crumb now at the end, to shut us up when things get bad because of what you guys are doing, you know. Um, but either way, my point being is, I don't know. I might get lucky. You know what I mean? things are changing, you know what I mean? And people are realizing, so the banks, they're going to make their own digital currency, but the banks are already mining and have already bought into Bitcoin. So they know that they have to buy into this and profit from it because they can't stop it. There's nothing that they can do. So they're going to capitalize off of it. That's why the banks are the banks. They capitalize off of, you know, you know, beneficial scenarios when it comes to financing, like our finances or income. You know what I mean? That's what the banks do. They capitalize, right? But anyways, so they have been capitalizing off of it because again they can't do nothing to stop it. So yeah, man, like it's just crazy. So they're gonna try and make their own digital currency that they can manipulate. They can, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be any different than the paper dollar. It's just digital, and they can manipulate the paper dollar and print it and whatever and tax, triple tax, and tax on top of tax. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like whatever, right? But they're gonna create their own digital currency. That's what I think, and they're still gonna have their Bitcoin and be in that game and be profiting from it and benefiting from it, but they're going to double benefit because they're going to create their own digital currency and have you buy into that saying, oh, this is the, you know, the mainstream way to go or whatever. But I think people are not going to trust that because of what they've already done, and it just makes it easier to manipulate. If it's digital, they can control it, how it's computerized or whatever. But the thing with Bitcoin is that can't be done because of the blockchain, the way the blockchain was built, the way that Bitcoin was developed was literally developed in the intent to have it operate on its own peer to peer, where there's no middleman or bank that can actually, or a hacker that can mess the code up and manipulate and benefit from it. It's designed in a way that it just cannot be penetrated. If you want to learn more about that and that doesn't make any sense to you and you can't find any logic in that, there's documentaries and research and you know what I mean to back that up. If you go look that up, you know what I mean. I'm not going to sit here and break it down to you when there's a better explanation that's been, you know, thought out very well and has all the facts. You know what I mean. And people intended to create that content for you to learn from. You know what I mean, to create awareness. So it's all out there, right? But again, you know what I mean. It's just my view on things. Like this would be like the last time to buy into Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Before it's just, you know, it's gonna explode and then it's not gonna be any benefit to you. Like you want to catch the wave when it's gonna happen, and you know, a pandemic, a dollar collapse, and now the biggest financial institutions and organizations and agencies are buying into Bitcoin by the like hundreds of millions. You know, and PayPal just made Bitcoin a feature. Like, do you know how crazy that is? Like, and all the people that were talking down or bad about Bitcoin, you know, like it's resilient. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But it's also a key to freedom. You know, because of the nature of it, people have to understand it's decentralized. You have to wrap your head around that to really understand how real this is. It's running on its own. Like, imagine starting an engine and there's no way to shut that engine off, and you think, oh, we'll just destroy it. But what if, like, the way that it is there's miners all over the world, and look at Wiki. Okay, look at Wiki. Their servers can't be penetrated. That's why they go look up about WikiLeaks and all that stuff, right? There's servers all over the world. They literally have posts in the middle of the ocean where there's like a whole platform, and there's where the servers are. Okay, and they're protected. Like, you know what I mean? It's like right near like borders and shit. Like it's crazy. I watched a documentary on it. So there's like millions, like hundreds and thousands of servers all throughout the entire world that allow Bitcoin to run. So you would have to destroy every single one of them to stop Bitcoin. So you're not going to be able to do that. There's like millions. It's like you would have to destroy every single human being's computer in their house. You know what I mean, to stop Bitcoin. Like it's too big. You can't stop it. You know what I mean? And things happen like that, right? So either way, I think that's crazy, and I just wanted to talk about that because people were like, "Oh, you know, you're dumb," and blah blah. They're hating on me, and I just could see something that they couldn't see, and I knew that regardless, I'm gonna be able to capitalize off of it, even if it were to like collapse one day or whatever. I'm still gonna make money off of it. Like I have an opportunity to take advantage of it, and it's hard to be that person that capitalizes off waves when they happen, trends and historical times, or even know how to you know play the game in a market. You know what I mean? I was gonna buy stocks, but that's not a good idea because again, the dollar's collapsing, stocks and markets are collapsing, everything's collapsing. But what's going up is gold and Bitcoin. Okay, those are the only two things that are going up right now. So people realize, okay, everyone's buying gold again, but then they're gonna be like, oh shit, I can't carry $1 million worth of gold and around. You can't make transactions easily with gold. What are you gonna do? Walk around with a pouch full of coins, gold coins? Here you go, sir. Like it's not gonna happen. You're gonna be going ching with your phone, and it's gonna pay through Bitcoin because we live in a digital era, and it's only becoming more and more digital, and more technology is happening. Think about that. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, like the banks are gonna fail when they're gonna have their people that are gonna buy into their digital currency, just as they bought into the dollar, and they're gonna continue on that frequency because they're just not aware. You know what I mean? They believe in the system. So, but then, everyone's gonna wake up and realize, yo, like, we can't trust this again. What's the what's the biggest thing other than that? It's Bitcoin. Foundation is Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So it's gonna happen. But again, like, you know what I mean? If you were to ever like, man, like if I were to be able to get a $10,000 loan, 20,000, any type of loan, I would dump it into Bitcoin. I've literally made like $2,000-3,000 in profit in the last like 5 months off of Bitcoin just because I just did it. I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. Bam. You know what I mean? 4 racks. That's scary to do. That's terrifying. Like I was terrified. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, I've suffered all of my life. I'm like, I've made bad decisions like in my life and bounced back. You know what I mean? So if this was a bad decision, it was worth the risk. It was worth the risk. You know what I mean? Just think about that though. Something to think about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.